What's going on, Way Nation? Come on in. Come on in. I have decided to take us uh, from Zoom everywhere else. Let me go ahead on and do this. There we are. Take us on Zoom here and just kind of touch the South location today. I want to make sure that I'm giving you all that touch. Make sure you guys have that touch. All right, we're broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, all of our regular platforms today. Just kind of to update you on things that have been going on here at the Way. We've been in a lot of transition, as it were, transitioning from in studio um, to into our physical location. That has been a tremendous transition. We have a lot of things going on at the Way, and like I said, I just want to kind of update you on some of those things. As I mentioned, on May 14th, we got the keys to our new facility, 201 and a half North 6th Street in DeKalb, Illinois. And we have been working ardently to renovate it and to get it where it needs to be in preparation for a grand opening that I'm tentatively scheduling. Well, not tentatively, I'm scheduling for the month of September. The date is to come. And so I been working to move things and get things moving there. We've not been live streaming these last couple of weeks, just as it relates to Tuesday nights or Sunday mornings, because we're having internet issues there. Trying to get Comcast to get out and to fix that. And this is why I wanted to, at some level, come and chat with you about what's been going on, share some updates, share a little lesson a day, and just kind of get you guys that touch. I'm making preparations, South, to get back into physical meetings in the month of July. That's my desire, and that's my purposing that I'm going to do, is to get us back to those physical meetings in July, going back to our twice a month and doing 2 times a month at the central location in studio. So by 2022, my goal is to have you guys every weekend. Okay. And then by mid 2022, my goal is to have you guys in your own building by mid 2022. All right. We got a lot that's happening. I really wish I had the latitude at this particular point to show you some things that were happening at the Way Central, but as it were, the temporary sanctuary is done. It's the seating is up there, the lighting is up, the sound is up. It's painted very, very well. Bathrooms have been painted and everything like that. So we have a lot that's taken place there, and things have begun in the main sanctuary. Things are happening there. I went by there the other day and saw that things are happening very quickly. The goal is to get all those things that's in that larger space out of it, so that we can begin the process of renovation. We're looking at, as I said before, to be in that space for a grand opening in September. My goal, and I'm talking this over with my staff, so you kind of are hearing my my rantings of sorts, but just with the idea of updating you on some things and updating you on what's taking place. Amen. Y'all get to see me on YouTube again. Hey, YouTube, I trust everybody's doing well. Amen. But just with that being said, I got to have YouTube on the side here so I could see. But with that being said, we have a lot going on. The main sanctuary is being renovated. The children's rooms are getting ready to be renovated, and creating office spaces for the administration there. So there's a lot that that's happening at the way. I have pictures. My phone is dead, so but I have pictures of some of that stuff, and maybe we'll put some of it up on tomorrow. As you know, we typically record our Sunday services, and I try to rebroadcast those later on in the day for those that enjoy watching Sunday services. I think I will kind of keep that tradition up of rebroadcasting it, doing a live rebroadcast later on in the day, just so that people can have the opportunity to see that service and kind of relive it, at least until we come back with our live streams. Be patient with us, please. We got, like I said, we have a lot that's happening. Some things are happening a lot quicker than we were planning, and some things are happening much slower than we're actually planning. So with that being said, I want you all to know exactly what's happening here at the Way. Okay. We're slated to be done with demo and getting all that stuff out of the main sanctuary by the 14th, I think it is. Yeah, by the 14th. We got a dumpster outside, so all that stuff is going to go out. And so that's going to go out, and we're going to have all that space. We're going to bring an electrician in to the main sanctuary and kind of plan out where we're going to need all of the outlets, and get some things, some switches wired there, and get some things like that happening, because that facility is kind of wired kind of crazy, but it's all good. It's all good. So we're going to continue to do that, and just kind of keep the ball rolling. Keep the ball rolling on things that are happening. We've been sitting down and deciding what walls are coming out and what things are going to look like, just in that regard. The children's room, that we decided we're going to knock one wall down and say, okay, this should be enough. They said, no, we're going to knock a whole nother wall down and make it much larger, so they'll have enough space. Probably have to order more tables and chairs for them to be able to come into that space and really enjoy that. So we have a lot that's going to be taking place, and I want you guys to continue to keep Tony lifted, as he's in there almost every day doing stuff. And he's pretty much hitting it by himself. He's moving briskly, but he's doing this stuff by himself. And he has a crew every now and again. Elijah comes and Shonda comes and helps. And we're thankful for them. And we're thankful that this stuff is in the house, man. It saves a lot of money and all that wonderful stuff. We're thankful that all of that is in the house. Okay, enough about that. The month of July, we're going to be having our prophetic encounter right there at our location, smack dab at Central. All right. It's not going to be one day, as it has typically been in the past. It's going to be 3 days: Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is going to be an amazing night of worship, an amazing night of worship. Worship team is going to be singing and setting atmospheres. We may have it as a night of prayer as well. Night of prayer and the prophetic, to kind of prompt and push and create atmospheres and climates for what it is that the Lord wants to do. Then that early Saturday morning, we'll have our continental breakfast for everybody, for all of our attendees. They'll come, they'll have their continental breakfast, and we will begin our teaching sessions. You'll have those morning sessions, and once we're done with the morning sessions, of course, you'll have the remainder of your day. Go hang out, relax, rest. And once we're done, we're coming back on Sunday morning, and we're going to have our morning worship and finish it on out. I want you all to make plans to be there with me for the whole weekend. I don't know what weekend is that, Elder Murphy? That's July 9th through the 11th. July 9th through the 11th. So make plans to be there the whole weekend. Arrange a room. Get 3 or 4 of you guys in the room. Get down here for that. That's going to be an awesome weekend. Get here for the night of worship and the night of prayer. And that Sunday morning is going to be off the chain. At the end of 2020, in our prophetic intelligence report, the Lord had already given me and listed everything he wanted me to talk about and what that was to look like and all that wonderful stuff. So I'm ready for it. And as soon as I'm done with that, your boy's going on sabbatical. Once I'm done with that in the month of July, I'm going on sabbatical, taking a much needed rest. I got a chance to go on vacation for a little bit for a week earlier this month. And I'm thankful to God for that. That was good. That was necessary. It does you well when you're able to step away from what you do on a regular basis and handle some other things. So I was okay with it. I got in the pool. Anybody knows me knows I don't bother with the pool. I got in the pool and everything like that and relaxed in the hot tub. And amen. It was great. So I needed that. Had a lot of opportunities to go and relax and rest, and a lot of fun we had as well. And I can't, for the life of me, wonder why we came back home. We were trying to stay much longer. We could have stayed another 24. That would have been good for us. But with all that being said, I kind of want to touch you guys tonight. Many of you have heard about the fast that we were doing. You got it via the app or the text message. And in the midst of that, some of you are probably wondering why. Well, when we started the Destiny series, one of the words that the Lord had given me was deliverance for destiny. And why that was pivotal and critical. That many times we don't understand that deliverance is so critical for where it is that we must go in the earth and on our course. And if we do not engage it appropriately and consistently, whether it is self-deliverance or whether it is a private deliverance session, inner healing, deliverance counsel, whatever it is, if we don't engage that regularly, the course that we can be on is oftentimes hindered because of the things that we're still in relationships and bondage to. This is critical. So deliverance, in a real sense, is a necessity on the journey to destiny. So as I begin to study that through, and I'm teaching that in the morning, I'm just gonna give you some highlights of it. You'll get a chance to see that in full in the AM for those of you that'll be here. But I said all that about the fast because that's going to be a mass deliverance session. I had people sending in stuff that they wanted to be free from. That mass deliverance session, we're going to really begin to we're going to cast out some devils. That's all. Amazing worship, amazing prayer, cast out some devils, preach a lesson, excuse me, cast out some devils and go home. And go home. All right. So that's what that fast was all about. All right. It happened at Central. Unfortunately, because of the internet situation, we couldn't get the word out in enough time for everybody to participate. Again, for those of you that want to be down here, you're more than welcome to come to the Central location, and we can minister deliverance to you. I'm handling the staff at 9 in the morning. My day starts at 9. I ain't gonna be done until later on that day. And once I'm done on Monday, I ain't taking no calls from nobody. Deliverance takes a lot out of you physically, whether you are the deliverance minister or the deliverance client. As the client, it's a lot that as things are coming out, you're expelling strength. And as you're spending time as the deliverance minister ministering, sometimes you got to wrestle with folks a little bit. And whenever you're moving heavily under the anointing of God and in the power of God and forth and under the strength of the mantle, you're tired. You get tired. And so you got to have time to recuperate and things of that nature. So that's what's going to be taking place tomorrow. Okay. But today I kind of want to touch something that I touched on last week with Central. And I want to touch this whole idea of having the keys. Having the keys. You have the keys. I got the keys is what we're really talking here. Matthew 16, verse 19, contemporary English version. Matthew 16, verse 19, contemporary English version. First 6 words of the text says, I will give you the keys. I will give you the keys. As we dive into this lesson, I'm reminded of a time when my grandmother would put the key to the house in my pocket because she was not able to come pick me up from school. Consequently, she was able most days. There were some days she may have had an appointment, a few family emergencies that had arisen, and she couldn't get there to me in enough time. I remember one time where she said that she wasn't going to be able to pick me up, and she had asked a few other people to be able to do it, and they said, well, we might not be able to get over there. I walk outside of the school, and I got 5 cars sitting outside, hers included, to come pick me up from school that day. Shameless aspect of this is I lived about 2 blocks away from the house. So I could have walked home, but she didn't feel safe with me walking home back in the day with people. They were taking your shoes and everything else like that back in those times. But I remember there was one particular time, and I think it was around the time that my cousin had gotten killed, and they had to go for his trial and for his funeral. And she said, I'm not going to be able to get back in time, but I'm going to put this key in your pocket. Just walk home, come in, lock the doors. She gave me the key. I was not afraid to have the key. I think more so for me, I was afraid of losing the key and allowing somebody that did not have the right to be in my space or in my home being in there. And of course, I was kind of scared of the repercussions of losing the key. But needless to say, whenever you have the key, it suggests that there is a level of responsibility that's given to you, as well as there's a level of authority and allowances that are given to you. And you don't want to mismanage those things by mismanaging the keys. All right. So that's critical. Okay. Text says, behold, it says, I give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and God in heaven will allow whatsoever you allow on earth, but he will not allow anything that you don't allow. Let's look at the nuances in the text. Number one, the keys were given. The keys were given. You didn't take the keys. Okay, they were given to you. And the only way keys are given is if the one that's given the keys trusts you enough to give you the keys. He trusts you enough to to give you the responsibility and the authority of having those keys. They don't just come willy-nilly, and because somebody says, oh, let's just go take, no, you have to have the capabilities necessary to be a key holder. Okay. Number two, the second nuance of the text says this. It says, give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. The keys were to a particular place. Watch this. Watch this. The keys were to a particular place. Every time God gives you keys, those keys are designed to open up one or more doors. I have my keys right here, and I kind of put them here for a reason. I remember a long time ago, I used to have a lot of keys on a ring, and I didn't know where half the keys went. Really didn't. I didn't know where half the keys went. And so one day I decided to take all the keys off that I didn't know where they went to, and only keep the ones that I knew where they went to. And this right here was what I came down to. I can tell you where every key on here goes to. All right. These are the keys to the church. It's the key to the church. All right. These are two lock keys. Lock keys. All right. This is the key to the P.O. box. Okay. These are the keys to grandma's house. Okay. Key to the mailbox. Key to my house. Key to my car. I know where every key goes. That way I can keep up with them. I know where every key goes. I know where every key goes to. But then I had those keys that I had no clue what they go to. Didn't know what they went to. Didn't use them for anything. They were just taking up space. Let's be clear. When we talk about keys, keys are not just simply physical things. They're concepts. Okay. I had a lot of keys on my ring. They weighed me down. I didn't need all of them because some of the doors that they were to, I no longer had access to them in the first place. I used to, when I would move, for some odd reason, I would keep the key to the previous place, knowing that the people would change the lock. Knowing that the people would change the lock. But I kept the key. There are some keys, concepts, constructs that you have to let go of because they no longer fit the doors that you are going into. Okay. Number three, he said, I'm gonna give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. He didn't say key, he said keys. There are multiple keys to one kingdom, which suggests that there are multiple doors and spaces and places that you can have access to. If you have the keys, guess what? There are multiple places where you can have access to that you need to learn what those keys give you access to. Okay. Number four, keys give you access. They open a space to you. Number five, keys give you authority. They give you a space to operate in. I wanted to get here because whenever you have the key to something, if I have the key to your house, you've given me the authority to walk in your house and to do whatever it is I want to do because you gave me the keys. Those keys not only give me access and authority, they give me allowances. All right. If you give me the keys to your house and then I walk in and there's a house full of doors that are closed with locks, but you don't give me the keys to those locks, it means that I'm only allowed to operate and function in the open spaces. The other places that I do not have a key to, I have no allowance, nor do I have authority or access in those places. So having the keys to this new facility means that, and it has a lot of doors and rooms, and all of them have keys. I understand that. All of them had keys. And having access to all of that, I had to get a master set of keys. We had every key to every door in the building. Okay. Because I needed to make sure that the right people had the right access and the right allowances. Okay. They had the right access and the right allowances. Okay. So when we talk about keys, keys are apostolic and prophetic concepts, constructs, and technologies that must be both learned and mastered and are given to the trusted and well qualified, granting them access to rooms, realms, spaces, regions, territories, and dimensions. That's what keys are. Don't get it twisted. When he said, I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom, he wasn't talking about literal keys. He's talking about, I'm going to give you a set of concepts, technologies, constructs that are going to be critical for you to be able to access the kingdom and bring kingdom from heaven into the earth realm. Okay. John 14:2 says, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. If there were not, I would not have told you. So I go to prepare a place. Okay. The contemporary English version says, there are many rooms in my Father's house. I like that translation better because when you look up that word rooms, it starts to give you dimensions, realms, so on and so on and so on. So all of these keys that you have are going to give you access to certain places in the kingdom of God, which will cause that access to those places to rain down on you. Okay. I think of a key, not in this sense, but key card access. Maybe some of you have key cards at your job. Okay. Key card allows you access into the building. Key card has pre-programmed in it what floor you belong on. Okay. And next thing you know, you wave the key card in front of the thing and it takes you directly to the floor that you go on. You can walk past every door on the floor that you're on, but that key card is only going to give you access to the place that you have the clearance. Well, it may give you access to the bathroom. You have clearance there. Your space, you have clearance there. Conference room, even, you have clearance there. Okay. A supply closet, you have clearance there. All right. You have clearance. So in the midst of all that, this key card, this concept gives you access. And here's the thing, the more you begin to master the concepts, the greater the level of access. Okay. Many of us have not mastered intimacy. So the level of intimacy that we have will only give us so much access. Got it? Level of intimacy that we have is only going to give us so much access. But the more of intimacy that you master, the deeper the level of access into God's presence. The key of the prophetic. You have this much access. You have the key, but because of maturity, you don't have as much access. And so based upon the level of access that you have, that's all that you're going to receive from that. But the more you begin to master it, the more you begin to master it, guess what's going to happen? The deeper the access. I learned that just as when I started doing the prophetic encounter. I wasn't trying to do a prophetic encounter, to be quite honest with you. Half of the stuff I'm doing now, I wasn't really trying to do. I'm being completely honest. All right. Lord told me to have a prophetic encounter, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I've taught on the prophetic before, but at the level to which he wanted me to teach on it, it required me to have a certain level of mastery and depth to it. And so I've always had the key of the prophetic, used it when necessary, but never really studied it to master. In fact, when I first realized that I was prophetic, I bought all these books. And I mean, I bought a whole slew of prophetic etiquette and so many books. And you know what? The Lord said, put those books in the bottom drawer and do not read them. I said, well, why? He said, because I'm going to teach you what you need to know. And he did. He taught me a lot of things about the prophetic, and he taught me just by reading the word. Okay. So that later on, when I went back to read those books, all the majority of the things that were in the books he had already shared with me. But that was him teaching me the prophetic again. He was teaching me how to master hearing his voice and depending on what he said. So now when I go in to teach this thing called the prophetic encounter now, I'm teaching at a whole nother, I've been qualified to access an entirely different level of insight, revelation, truth, information, and intelligence to articulate that to those individuals that are in the earth realm. But there has to be a certain level of mastery, and there has to be a certain level of maturity, and with that maturity comes mastery, and with that mastery comes trust, and then responsibility coming from the Father. Okay. So he's going to prepare and give you access to the many rooms that are in the heavenly realms. Well, those rooms are rooms with wisdom and strategy and tactic and maneuvers on the inside of them. Libraries, whatever the room is, you will have access to it based upon the level of maturity and mastery that you have in that concept. Okay. So when you start moving into these particular realms and understanding mastery, you're going to find that there are literally about 48 levels of mastery. 48 levels of mastery. Okay. 48 levels of mastery. There are 12 stages of mastery. Okay. 12 stages of mastery. And then and let's look at it this way. When we start looking according to John 14, 2, it says there are many rooms, my Father's house. Okay. One room. Each room has length, breadth, depth, and width. Length, height, depth, and width. Length, height, depth, and width. Okay, it's 4 dimensions into that room. Okay. And in those 4 dimensions, there are each dimension has it has 12 levels of mastery, from the mystery to the full counsel. So as you are mastering each of these levels, you come up to 48 levels. But then it also has 2 more qualifying levels, and that's tests and trials. That's tests and trials. Tests and trials become the qualifiers. So that's 50. 50 is the number of jubilee. It is the number of freedom. It is the number of that allows you to operate in a thing in its fullness. Okay. So that's what you start dealing with when you're looking at this whole idea of keys giving you access. Okay. Keys giving you access. All right. So let's talk about doors and keys. Doors and keys. All right. There are 2 classifications of doors. 2 classifications of doors. You have exterior doors and interior doors. Exterior doors and interior doors. Exterior doors gives you access into something, allowing you to move from outside of the structure into the structure. Exterior doors, outside to in. Interior doors gives you access into rooms, realms, dimensions, and etc. Okay. 2 classifications of doors: outside doors, inside doors. Now watch this. Let's talk the type of doors, because when we start looking at doors and we understand the types of doors, we understand that each door type comes with the law that governs it. If you don't understand what type of door you're entering into, then you will not understand. You'll miss the law behind that door. And when you miss the law behind that door, you can oftentimes mismanage what happened or mismanage your access to that door. Okay. Mismanage your access to that door. Right. So the first door is is entrances. First type of door is entrances. Entrances. Entrances are doors that allow you to flow from out to in, out to in. You're out, it only goes one way, and that's in. That's an entrance. The law of the doors of entrance is that they only flow one way, and entrances are never granted to the unqualified. Type that right now. Entrance is never granted to the unqualified. Many times you want to enter into a season, you want to enter into a space and a place, but you're unqualified, which is why you don't enter in. And you become frustrated because you can't enter into that season, that space, that place, because you're unqualified. And you don't know why. God said, if I ask anything to be in his will, he's going to let me go give it to me. He said, yeah, I'll give it to you, but I don't have to give you access because you're not ready for that. Galatians talks about how the son, while he is yet a child, though he be ruler of all, is set under tutors and governors until the time of the Father before he's given full authority. So God's not giving you full authority or full access in the places because you're not ready. that what qualifies you is your maturity. What qualifies you is your mastery. What qualifies you is your ability to respond to what God asks you to do. Hence the term responsibility that makes you trustworthy. Okay? Here it is. Then you have interior doors. Interior doors. Okay? Interior doors. Doors only open for those who already have interior access and who have clearance to enter them. You got to have interior access and clearance to enter them. Okay? If you come to my house and I let you in the door, and every other door in the house is closed, that means you don't have access to that place. You don't have access to it. Okay? But when you do, but when that person gives you access, they say, oh, just go in, go and do this, or go there and do that, because the door now is open to you. And this is the thing I want you to understand about interior access. It only is open for those with interior access. There are some doors that are only open to those who are in the kingdom. They won't be open to anybody else outside of the kingdom. So here's the law of interior doors. They will only open to those who have access and authorization. These interior doors will only open to those who have access and authorization. Okay, I can tell Ella Murphy, go to my room and get so and so, because I trust him and I know he'll go in and do what I ask him to do. So I give him access into a place that many people aren't allowed to go. Let's talk about that in context to your life. How many people in your life have too much access? Yeah, I'm about to preach right here. How many people in your life have too much access to you? Watch me when I say this. No one should have that much access to you all the time. No one. That ain't your spouse or your children. They shouldn't have that much access to you. Okay. Why? Because when you grant too much access to a person, what's going to happen is familiarity will set in. When you just come to anybody's house and do whatever you want to do, you become real comfortable in their house. And stuff you wouldn't do at your house, you'll do at theirs. Yeah. I'm careful. I don't care how much access somebody gives to me in their house. I'm still respectful of it enough not to do dumb stuff. All right. You ain't gonna never see me sit on the side of somebody on the arm of somebody's couch. Can't do it. My grandmother would appear and start slapping me with her cane. She taught me better than that. You may do that at home, but when you become so comfortable, you forget the boundaries. Okay. Just because you have access and allowances in there doesn't mean that you betray the boundaries. Oh, this is so good. Because when you betray the boundaries of the access that you've been given, it says a lot about your character, which is another qualifying factor. When you have bad character, there's some things that you're just not going to get access to, period. Okay, how much of a good person you are, not getting access to it. Not at all. Okay? Because your character is the thing that will sustain you in the place where you've been given access to. Okay? I wrote this down. Many of you have access by means of your salvation, but no authorization because of your character. And this is something I'll preach to the day I die. Man, character is king. Just like cash is king, you think faith is one of the currencies of heaven, but character is a more major and more qualified currency of heaven. Okay, here you go. Next one. It's exit doors. Exit doors. Exit doors allow a flow from in to out. Just out. That's it. Exit. Here's the law of exits. The law of exit says that they only flow from in to out. They're and are never granted to those who have not mastered the test. This is so good here. Your exits are never given to you until you master whatever test that those exits are attached to. You can't exit into a marriage until you've mastered the test that's attached to that exit. You can't exit out of relationships until you master the test that's attached to the exit. Okay? An exit is never going to be given until you've mastered the test. And sometimes these exits are timed. I want you guys to hear this. These exits are timed. And you have a certain length of time before that exit closes. Y'all know I'm a Star Trek nerd and like science fiction and everything like that, and was somehow looking at a documentary about wormholes and from a science fiction perspective. And one of the things I saw was that a wormhole will open for so long and it'll appear somewhere else and appear somewhere else and appear somewhere else. And I was thinking about that thing real heavy, because once that thing disappears, you got to wait for it to reappear, and then you got to readjust yourself to go through the exit at that place. Many of you have missed exits, not because you didn't love God, not because God didn't love you, not because you didn't have grace, mercy, power, authority, or ability. It was because a lot of times what kept you missing exits is distractions. What keeps you missing exits is distractions. And until you assess your distractions, your exits will always be in flux. You'll always miss them. And you wonder why you're going through cycles, because you missed the exit to the cycle. Okay? So you got exits. Then you have emergency exits. Emergency exits. Emergency exit is a door that allows the flow from in to out only in the state of an emergency. In the state of an emergency. Can y'all handle that? Only time you're going to be coming out of an emergency exit is when there is a bona fide emergency. Okay? Here it is. This is the emergency. Emergency exits are granted to those when the pressure exceeds the levels necessary to enact a promise. This is so good. The only time you get an emergency exit, is when hell keeps pushing after the promise has been manifest. When hell keeps pushing after the promise that has been manifest. Got it? So in essence, you come out of a test, but hell keeps testing. Hell keeps pushing. So now you need the emergency exit so that you won't have to continue to bear the weight of the thing that hell is trying to keep on you. Okay? Emergency exits come when the level of pressure necessary to produce a desired promise is no longer required and the devils responsible do not want to release. Okay? In this, we got to talk this whole thing called the law of access and the key holder principle. Law of access states that access to a natural or supernatural place, platform, position, power is only granted to those who have been tried, tested, and well qualified. Access is only granted by one who has superior clearance and authorization to do so. Everybody that is going to be a key holder has to be trusted. They got to be tried and tested before a key is given. Okay? When I signed the lease, I got one key. No, two keys, I think. Two keys. I got two keys and whatnot. I immediately put both keys on my ring. Then I realized I don't need two keys. Let me give the key to somebody that I trust. I gave the other key to Elder Murph because for the last 10 years, he's been tried and tested and proven to be someone that's trustworthy. Don't miss that statement. Tried and tested, proven to be someone that's trustworthy. You now can be a key holder. You now can be given access into the place and the space that God has given us. And with that key holder comes certain responsibilities. I don't have to be at the building all the time to open it up. He can. I don't have to, I can leave and know that he can lock it up. I did that last Sunday. I left. I came home. And I knew that the place would be locked up because number one, somebody had the key. Somebody had the responsibility. And somebody had the character and was trustworthy enough to be able to know that they're gonna go in and shut everything off, lock all the doors so that we don't come back to an empty church. I didn't have to worry about it. Here's the thing with key holders. You should never have to worry about a key holder. You should never have to worry about a key holder misusing authority or giving access to someone that it doesn't belong to. Because key holders have boundaries. Key holders have character. Key holders know the mind and sentiment of the one that gave them the key. This is good. This is good. This is good. Who are you giving keys to your soul to? Who are you giving keys to your emotions to? Who are you giving keys to? Who are key holders to these aspects of your soul, your life, emotions? And do they deserve it? Because if they don't, you have to take the key back. Okay? So once you take the key back, that restricts authority because they failed the test and they were not found to be trustworthy in the trial. So if you ever want place, platform, position, and power, you're going to have to be tested and tried. If somebody wants a place in your life, they're going to have to be tested and tried. Somebody wants to hold a particular position in this church, tested, tried. If you want power operative in your life, tested, tried, especially with power. God has to make sure that you don't use it for your own gain. And you don't mismanage it and use it to, and that your will and not his own. Tested, tried. And I allude to this thing about tried. There's this whole dual idea of a trial to prove the one's trustworthiness, one's trustworthiness, one's ability to say, hey, this person is right. But also from a metalworking perspective, anything that's tried by fire is tried so that all of the impurities will come to the surface, be skimmed off, so something that's pure will remain. So being tried is not just going to the court and being found worthy, it's having all your impurities exposed and brought to the surface so that they can be dealt with so that you can impurity, in purity, not impurity, so that you can in purity walk this thing out. The purer the purer the metal, the more valuable it is. Purer the metal, the more valuable it is. Creation of steel. You got to have this amount to this amount to this amount, and it makes it strong. Too much of anything will make that thing snap in a minute. Got to be tried. Got to be tried. Okay. Got to be tried. All right. A key holder. Here's some qualifications of a key holder. Okay, they're fearless. Key holders are fearless. Let me say this again. Key holders are fearless. Key holders are fearless. Why? Because they have the keys. They have the authority. They have the access. Key holders are fearless, but they're feared by their enemies. They'll wish that it had the authority that you have. You're fearless. You're not walking in fear, going to open up the door. You're faithful. Here's another one, faithful. Key holders are faithful. Here's the thing with the key holder. I got up, it was our second service in this new facility last week. This will be our third service. And I got up early because, okay, I got to open up the door and everything like that. That's my mind. Let me get up, get out. I told Elder Blanks, I said, let's go. Got to live in such a time. Got to have, be able to make it do what it do. All right. We're not playing no games. Got to go. I get to the church, pull my key out to put it in the door. The door is already open. I get there. Tony is already there. Tony is already there. Tony has already got stuff set up. I didn't have nothing to do. I had nothing to do. Because somebody that was a key holder had already utilized their access and authority to get everything prepared and situated. So now, what's the lesson that I'm learning here? That if I give you the keys, let me let you do the responsibility. Okay? I ain't tell him to go to the church and open up. He did. But now in this case, okay, now I have several people with keys. All right, I need you to open up this week. You open up next week. And we'll rotate like that. Only reason I need a key is not to open and close on service times. It's to open and close any other time. So I got a free level of, I have I have the ultimate clearance because I can go anywhere, because of the keys that I have. But that's only given, that level of access is only given to the faithful. Can I see you every Sunday? Can I see you every Tuesday? You want promotion, but I ain't saw you. Promote me. Release me into my call. I can't trust you because I don't know how faithful you are. Then another one is fortitude. Fortitude. They're strong. They don't break at every sign of pressure. They don't break. Fortitude. They're forthright. Here's another one. They're honest. Forthright, honest. They have integrity. They have integrity. They tell no lies. Deception don't live in them. Okay? They have faith. They have the capacity to see things and trust God when the things that they see don't look like what God said. They got fight, F-I-G-H-T. They have the ability to keep going and engaging the enemy and winning. And then lastly, they have the fear of the Lord. They have the fear of the Lord. They're not walking around scared of God. They're walking around reverencing him because they realize he's the one that gave them the keys and can rescind access as well. So a key holder must have the fear of the Lord. They must reverence God because that reverence for them will always keep them in line and honor. So that because let me just say, promotion comes out. When there's honor, there's ultimately going to be promotion. And new keys are given to you. I remember years ago, and I got to close here. Years ago, some individuals that were here, that were leadership here, had something circulating, some prophetic personality, and that's what I call them, prophetic personality. They were an ambitious prophet. They're prophet. They're prophet. They're an ambitious prophet who did more of this and didn't do a lot of this, and heard from here, not there. A lot of times, called some key leaders and said Elder Murphy, who wasn't Elder Murphy at the time, said he was Judas. He was a Judas. Now, and let's come on up. He's been the one that's been most. He's the one that's still stuck around while all the rest of them is gone. How does that sound like Judas? That sounds more like Peter. But the design of that, it was designed to make him want to give up. That's what that was designed to do. Make him want to give up. And so the one person that they said I shouldn't give access to now has access to make decisions in my stead. Because he's been tried and tested and found faithful. He ain't scared of me. He should be, but he ain't scared of me. He has a reference for who I am, which allows him access to my heart, so that I know there's some decisions that he'll make that he already knows that I would make. So when he makes them, they're like, okay, Apostle, is that what you want? I said, did that man say that? He knows me well enough to be able to say that's what he's gonna want right there. But that's why he has the levels of access that he has, not only in my life, in this church. Okay. I gotta go. I just want to touch you guys for an hour. I'm looking at some of these comments here. Yes, we're gonna be back in July, the month of July, where I'm kind of waiting for the governor to crack this thing back open and we're able to house everybody we need to house in the month of July. So we will be back in the month of July. Everybody that's fully vaccinated, they won't have to wear a mask when they come in. Those that have not been, if you still want to wear one, fine. We're not gonna, trip about that. But in the month of July, we're coming back to South. That's my plan. We're gonna start to build there. I miss you guys as well. All right. The fact that you tell me that you didn't get any texts or anything from the app, I'm gonna have to be on Way Connects and the app people about that. So I will look into that immediately to make sure that you're able to get that, and we'll have somebody to get with you to show you how to do it. Okay, it's offering time as you prepare yourself for the tithe offering of wonderful gifts and expressions of love. We thank God again for your faithfulness, your cheerfulness, and your commitment to give. Right now, there are always 4 ways that you can give here at the Way Nation. You can go directly to our website, www.thewaylive.tv. You can give there. You can open up the Tithely application, which many of you have on your phone, or you can go to the Way Nation app and go ahead and sow your seed there. Ultimately, you can always text the word give to the number that's going to be at the bottom of your screen. All right, 4 ways to give here at the Way Nation. Make sure you go ahead and avail yourself of one of them, and go ahead now and give your tithe offering and wonderful gifts and expressions of love. All right, as you already know, Tuesdays are for Bible study. 7:10 p.m. We're going to be having Bible study. My plan is I'm working on something to see if we can try to broadcast or live stream Bible study this Tuesday. I'm troubleshooting some stuff. I found a way to do something, and I got to make sure I can do it the way I want to. And if I can, then you all will be able to see Bible class and Sunday worship until we get the internet in our place. All right. I think that's all the announcements for right now. We have more on tomorrow. All right. I love you guys so very dearly. God bless you, Father. I pray in Jesus' name that you would protect and keep every person under the sound of my voice. Watch over them, in the name of Jesus. Keep them, God. Father, until we meet again, we bind the hand of the enemy, come against demonic and satanic assignments right now. As we thank you and bless you for all that what you're getting ready to do. In Jesus' name, amen. I love your Way Nation. I'll see you next week.